Welcome back to Sixes and Sevens round 12 review. Also a little bit of Origin talk before we dive into this weekend's games. Obviously we'll be touching on all the games plus the Origin, who we think will win. But before we jump into that, I want to ask my mate how he's going over there in France. I had a Zoom meeting last night with him for our reboot business, and I'm sick of his head. He's sitting here laughing like it's getting to the point where I'm fucking going to fly over there and flog him.
Oh, you're just making me laugh. You got one of those heads on. It's funny. But, mate, I'm good. Enjoyed our Zoom yesterday. As you said, Toddy, there's a lot going on, and it's all long game, but it's enjoyable. And what a week.
How long?
Good way to start the show. It's funny. You're cracking me up this morning. But the Origin teams, we didn't get a chance to really dive into the squads, did we? So obviously we spoke about New South Wales on our Monday show, but Queensland, as they do, get the extra day. And surprised, some of the selections have been a little bit left field. Their bench in particular, how does that compare up against New South Wales bench? Where do you see them winning? I'm interested to see what you think, Toddy. Plenty to talk about, but as every Origin series is, it's mysterious and the unknown, and those grubby Queenslanders have the run of the play this year. Game one up there. First opportunity to get out of the blocks, and we know how hard it is to win up there, Toddy. So, big couple of weeks coming up.
Oh, it's a massive couple of weeks coming up, and as you said, both teams come out. But I just love when it always seems to be just New South Wales. There's never a debate who gets picked for Queensland. Someone gets picked, they pat him on the back, going, well done. Someone gets picked for New South Wales, it's like, oh, why is he getting picked and someone else isn't? There's so many opinions fly around.
Where did that start? It's such a good point because we've obviously experienced it as halves. It's just 50 times more criticism and highlight in New South Wales. But it's like that with every position. Where's this whole tall poppy syndrome started? It's worth a little topic for 5 minutes to talk about because, as you just said, Queensland do it so well up there. Whoever comes into their squad, it's like a protection. It's a support. It's a fairy tale story. Someone comes into New South Wales that they didn't expect. It's like they've slept with the coach's wife. Like,
yeah, like there's got to be a conspiracy to why they've been picked. Like, imagine if New South Wales went and picked a Rob Toia after 10 games. Like, it's not spoken about here. It's like, well done, Billy. Could be a masterstroke, but if it was on the other end and New South Wales had done this, they'd be like, what's Laurie on? But because Billy's doing it, it's sort of, I don't know. That's Origin, isn't it?
We've been in camps, and from an insider, there's no different. There's a lot of love and care, isn't there, within New South Wales? That's obviously why players love playing for the state. Like from a coach's point of view, and the boys, there's always such a good energy. It's just the media around it, obviously. So, but yeah, Queensland they do it well up there. And as you said, a lot of debutants, obviously going into the team soon. But Rob Toia, who was only in the Roosters Academy that I was doing a little bit of work for, he's only in there a year ago, and then he's obviously debuted come through this year after his knee problems, and now he's playing State of Origin after 10 games. Firstly, congratulations. What a career he's had in his early stages in the NRL. He's going to get a rude shock up there, but I've got a real suspicion he's going to go really well. He's going to be...
Yeah, well, he'll have his work cut out. He'll be coming up against Trell. So that'll be a good battle because obviously we know what Latrell's like. He'll be fired up for the occasion, and also he'll make it personal coming up against the rookies. And that's pretty much what he is. He'll come class. He'll be classed as Rookie of the Year this year in the NRL because how many games he's played, and it's a massive honour for him. Obviously, it's a big stage, but obviously Billy Slater sees something in him, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I like both teams. Obviously, we've got to talk about both teams and the way we break it down and the way it looks. Like, obviously, previous times we'd probably just go, we're not going to talk about Queensland because we're New South Wales through and through. but this is a platform to talk about it. When you look more and more into both teams, yes, we're favourites, but if you look at both teams, like the spine for Queensland, and when we talk about our spine, Mitchell Moses, Nathan Cleary rub our hands together, but then you talk about the Queensland spine, Harry Grant, Munster, DCE, Ponga. Ponga combination with them three haven't played a lot, but the other three, Hughes, Munster, DC and Grant, they've played a lot of footy together. So their cohesion and nous will be way advanced to what ours is. Robson, Cleary, Moses never played together. So they've got a lot of work to do in camp this week to work out, one, how they're playing. Obviously, we asked Mitchell on the podcast and Nathan on our podcast how they would like to play. Obviously, they didn't know them when they were doing it, but even in camp yesterday, I seen interviews getting asked who's going to be the bloke that's going to be doing it. And they said, we've only been in camp sort of one night. We haven't even spoke about it. So they're things that will be coming up where Queensland, on the other hand, they go straight into camp and they go straight into their motions. So
I want to ask you in a bit after we dive into how the game will be won. You're cracking me up. I was going to ask you about, I want to get back to the 6 and 7s and dive into that for sort of a good period about how that'll work and how it frees up each player. But how do you see both contests? I look at it this way, as we know more than anyone, Origin is a one-off completions and field position, and if you're not winning the field position, you're no chance of winning the game. How do you do that? You need a forward pack and outside backs that can get you down the other end of the field, and you need a kicking game that's better than the opposition to win that forcings back. But I see New South Wales as the way out for them, obviously through Haas, Mitch Barnett, Crichton, more so than Liam Martin as far as yardage carries. But I see that power game, but more so using their centres as options early in sets, like shifting the ball and letting them steal the metres. I feel like if we're to blow them off the park, and I think it was the game 2 last year when Mitch Moses came in, when they played at Melbourne, I think it was, and the width of pass, they were just skinning Queensland on the edges. Queensland centres and edges. I remember Terry Evans, I think, was put under the pump a lot defensively. They just didn't aim up against our centres. We had the ability to play through them on the edges. If our centres with Crichton and Latrell dominate their centres, I think we have a field day with the length of Mitch Moses and Nathan's kicking game, because there'll be just too many metres made from New South Wales. The alternative to that, if Queensland handle that, and the players that they've got, I actually think they've got a little bit more off the cuff than we do. I think they've got, with Kalen and Munster, their ability to break the game open with little moments. And even looking at their pack, with your Tinos, Fiduaka, Nedai, Cotter, there's some hard heads there that can create one-on-ones when they're running the ball and lots of space. And then obviously Harry Grant coming off the back of it. So I've just thrown out two different scenarios, but that's how I see the game. That's how I see this game going. So either New South Wales blowing them off the park through the middle, and then the powerhouse of Crichton and Latrell, and the width of pass with Nathan and Mitch Moses if they gel. And on the other side of it, I see Queensland doing what Queensland do best up there, is suffocating New South Wales centres and counteracting that with ad-lib footy. Cherry Evans, Munster, Kalen Ponga, and as I said, with their middles and edge back rows that have got really good footwork that can create one-on-ones.
Yeah, I think it's, as you know, Origin's one through the middle, but I like both teams' back three. Obviously, Kalen at the back with Valentine, Holmes and Coates. Their back three carries will be strong. Then you look at New South Wales, the same thing. Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto and Lomax, both big meat readers. So they'll start both sets. But then also, like as you said, the width of pass that Mitchell and Nathan will get, they'll be outside of the Queensland defence. If they can press, they'll be able to use their centres early. But I can see a tight battle. I think it's going to be a tight battle. I reckon it's whoever handles the big moment first, who cracks first. And obviously, as you said, you've been there a lot more than me, but in Origin, it comes down to those little little pop-up plays. And if I look at it too, if Harry Grant gets an opportunity to sniff early, we're used to seeing Harry come off the bench. So we're going to get a different look of Harry Grant in Origin. So he'll get that back end. Usually he's coming on the field in attacking type middles, but he'll get a sense early in the game that he'll see a tide forward from New South Wales, and then similar to Mitch, Reece Robertson on the other end. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Mitchell and Nathan play together. I see an exciting style. Obviously, Dylan Edwards isn't a great player. He's obviously good out the back, but he likes to play back through the middle. I think you'll see Mitchell and Nathan swing together, similar to what we used to do at the Roosters. They'll play that footy. They'll use Dylan Edwards to lay back through the middle. So I reckon you'll see Mitchell, Nathan going out the back and then dropping their centres, Dylan Edwards back through the middle, and then just building pressure and putting pressure on the sea defenders of Queensland, because, as we both know, Mitchell and Nathan have got a great running game, and I feel if they can kick the front door in, they'll have some joy around their 3-4 defender on the outside of their middle defenders. Instead of going through the middle, I reckon they'll be just on the outside of their sea defender, punching holes, not off each other, but they'll be pushing into those two holes with shape inside and shape outside.
I love that, how you explained that at the end about having that shape inside and outside so that they're actually still playing upstream, because me and you are good examples of this. The games when we never played as well together, when you've got two really skillful halves and you can share roles, and we can speak on behalf of this, you can get in a habit of overplaying, can't you? Because you've got such good skills and such good vision, and you've almost given each other a license to spread the ball, let the ball sing, especially when you've got two really big centres out there. There's a risk in a big game of them overplaying too much to each other, I reckon. If they fall into that, let's share responsibilities, and they're trying to attack them from everywhere, trying to hit their centres, that can lead to errors. I can see that as being a weakness of them. But what you just spoke about at the end kind of was the perfect blueprint. Have your little moments, still play with expansion, still be able to rotate roles, but your best play is inside-outside runners playing upstream, which gives the team that power game. And then off the back of that, once they've dug their nose in or they're coming off a sideline because the big centre's made a break, then they can let the ball sing. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not attacking Mo Fodawaker and Tino, but I feel they'll start with Collins because if we look at the Titans have been pretty weak through the middle. And they're two guys that are in the middle for the Titans. So I reckon if New South Wales will see that and they'll go, well, yes, there's other players around him this time around, but they'll put a lot of pressure on Mo and Tino because just the way they've been not playing in clubland because they're playing well, but they'll have that, I reckon, pressure inside and out them to put some pressure on to work what's been happening in clubland for them at the Titans to put pressure on them that way. But it's going to be a juicy clash, obviously. Then you can flip it the other way of how DC and Munster play. Obviously, they play separate sides of the field, but then that opens up Harry Grant's running game because they pull so much width from each other. And then everyone's been talking about it at Newcastle. How do you open up Kalen Ponga? It'll be interesting to see how he actually gets opened up with two class players in Munster and DCE, two of the best. So it'd be interesting to see where Kalen pops up, if he pops up left side, right side, or he just rotates through the middle and plays that style of footy. But it's a juicy clash. That's Origin. I can't wait. It's always a massive occasion here in Brisbane, first one. So we'll get a good look of what we're going to see for the rest of the series. But it's a massive game for Queensland to win here because we know what happens after that.
I love KP, the chat you just spoke about him. I think he'll be the best. If Queensland win, he'll be man of the match. I feel like you feel for KP, and when your club levels teams, there's so much heaviness, he must just be going, fuck, how good's this? I get to go in Queensland Origin team, not have to think, not have to get shit passes. I get to go in there and have freedom. Like, he must just go, how good's this? And in that environment, he's the best player on the field. He's got more talent. He plays 4-on-4 short sides better than anyone. We've seen him in Origin before with that nice 4-on-4 skip to hit the winger. And then, as you said, also the ability to play through the middle of the ruck with his footwork. So I think if Queensland win, KP will be man of the match.
Yes, well, I guess let's answer some questions. Our ever reliable producer, the boot scooting baby from Tamworth.
Hang on a second. Who's Cheddar?
We'll get to the Cheddars. We'll get
We'll get to the Cheddar later, mate.
So I'm
just
getting
fucking
excited.
relax. Just relax. Calling the shots.
First question I didn't have planned, but I think it could be good for people a bit like me who are less in the know than you boys. Like, what do you exactly mean when you say power game? What does that refer to?
Payne Haas.
Like, does it mean like
Mo
forwards,
Footaway,
kind of doing
Cartino. It's their forwards. It's the power game in the forwards, but at the moment in all games, the power game's starting from the wingers, which both teams have got the luxury of. I like New South Wales wingers better in the power game. Obviously, Toto and Lomax they'll get over 250 easy on Wednesday night. Then you look at the other side, Val Holmes has been playing centre, but we know when he goes to the wing, he gets slingshotted off the back fence every carry he does. And then Coates, a bigger body, but doesn't actually dent the line as much as the other three. He's not as quick as play the ball either, but he does skip across when it gets tired. So the start of the power game's there, and then the power game's controlled by the nines. Obviously, Harry Grant, Reece Robinson will control the power game, how that looks. They'll have to pull the trigger on when they hit their halves because obviously once the front door's kicked in, it goes to the big moments and the big players, and that's the half step up or someone slices through the middle, which would be up to Reece Robson or Harry Grant to pull the trigger on that. But the power game's led by the two front rowers and then how they play. So it's pretty much in that middle transition. So you've got the two tram lines, it's in between that middle transition of the field, and that's the power game. And like I said, both teams, if you look at them, you go front rower to front rower, where's their match? Obviously, Tino up against Payne Haas. What a juicy clash. There's a power game in itself. If you go into old school when you used to think about it back in the day, if I'm wearing number 8 and I've got to go against another number 8, am I better than him? That's how people back in the day used to judge teams. Let's go fullback. Who's the best player? Who's better? Okay, well, if he's better, they're going to win. It's not like that no more because it comes to what's around you, who you've got with you, who's taking the options to pass to you, what your push support's like. So many different things come into power game now. So it'll be interesting to see.
Off the back of Toddy, that power game for fans, when we speak about attack, power game is the thing that creates the ability for the halves to step up over the advantage line. And when everyone talks in the game about, commentators talk a lot about get back to the power game and build momentum. It comes obviously off your middles and the leg speed, but power game is the thing that creates the one-on-ones, creates the 6-agains, that then allows everyone to play. So when I think
stuff.
Well, just the whole idea of a set of 6 is to create one-on-ones, a quick play of the ball so that your ruck speed's quick, you're over the advantage line and you're playing on the front foot. So you hear power game a lot, and it's about it's about creating momentum, and it's about they talk about support play a lot. Your support play helps your power game because it allows the runner to create more one-on-ones, which then leads to a quick play of the ball. And as Todd said, Harry Grant and these type of guys get off the back of it.
For you, Mitch, how important is kicking game going to be on Wednesday night? Obviously, we've got Mitchell and Nathan. Who's going to take control there?
I think it's a good question. You just got me off guard. I think it's going to be interesting. I think they have to share it. As we've said, normally when you've got the sort of more dominant half, he's usually going to be you're probably 65% or 70% to 30%, isn't he? Really,
yeah.
In a club team, but I think it needs to almost be 50-50 with the ability of both these kickers. I almost tend to lean towards Mitch Moses in his long kicking game. I prefer it. The only thing is, I think he'll be playing on the left side of the field, so he's going to have to kick off that uncomfortable position for a right foot kicker. What I mean by that for the viewers is, from a right foot kicker on that side of the field, they get a lot of pressure from the marker, and it's a really difficult kick. So that's why that side.
He actually kicks across his body too.
Yeah.
Well, off the back of that, I'll keep this next question very simple, and I hope I know the answer. Who are you tipping to win the series?
New South Wales will win the series. I believe. One, that's because I've got my New South Wales hat on, and I'm a New South Welshman. But the more and more I look at both teams, I don't believe we're as favourites as some people say.
I think that's fair.
I think some players in New Queensland team in bigger moments will be able to ice them maybe better than us.
Who's that, Toddy?
Oh, okay, yeah. Fair
Harry
question.
Grant. I'm worried about Harry Grant through the middle because we usually get a look at him late in the halves, but we're going to see him early. And as you know, Mitch, the first 10, 15 minutes of Origin, there's spaces open up. Players get tired because it's a different environment, different atmosphere. Obviously, the energy gets zapped out of you a whole lot quicker. Harry Grant's going to get that early on. So he'll get a sense of that early on, where before he's on the bench waiting for Ben Hunt to come off usually, then go on and then – but he'll be on the back of the starting pack of New South Wales on zapped energy. So that, and then just the way Munster is at the moment, he's primed for Origin. But then you flip it on the other side. You look at like I spoke about in how I think New South Wales will play. We'll get that outside C defender, inside D defender early on also because how tired the Queensland middles will be before they get a change. And then I think Nathan and Mitchell pull the trigger. I see Nathan or Mitchell breaking through just outside C or D defender early in the game.
Show them go with on the wide pass.
That's from there, early on, taking
especially like you've been, like we just said earlier about the threat of the centres, because those centres are going to feel so threatened, which then pulls the 3-man out, which pulls the back rower out. Yeah, I love it. I love what you're saying, because with the illusion out wide of having those big centres and a wide pass off the 9 with 2 really good ball players, there's going to be space around that C and D, isn't there? That's a really good.
Well, I see New South Wales going winger to winger, or however it goes, winger centre, and then I reckon they'll just pull width and let their middles roll, and then if the halves want it, they'll pull the trigger on it, which will open up a long kicking game for both halves. Because one thing, the centre will be also scared that if he leaves the winger will be scared that if he leaves his centre on his own, they'll have space on the outside. So I reckon there'll be plenty of space in the backfield also for both teams.
The only thing that scares me with that, and I think New South Wales is going to win the series, but I think we'll drop game 1. And the reason being is because up there, how many times do we ever get the rub of the how many times do we ever get the rub of the green? And how many times do we win field position in Queensland in an opening game? Very rarely. I go back to last game. When was the blockbuster? It was the last game up there last year, wasn't it? That blockbuster. When Mitch Barnett got 10 in the bin, there was a push and shove on the sideline. That was last game, Gabe? I think it was. That one that was just brutal. I see Queensland turning out like that in game 1.
Okay.
But I think we'll win the series.
Scary.
I can change your blue shirt to a maroon shirt, you fucking cat.
Well, when's the last clean sweep? When was the last when was the last clean sweep?
This year.
I haven't changed my blue shirt. I'm blue and blue. Blue eyes, blue shirt, blue everything. Blue balls.
Yeah.
Blue balls.
But yeah, I think Queensland will be tough to win up there game 1.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that. You'd rather be the underdog every day of the week, wouldn't you? Don't you think? And it's so annoying that this whole New South Wales can't lose. You hate it. I do.
I don't reckon it means shit.
Well, you know what I half hate about doing this? That you have to actually take your blue hat off and put a maroon hat on to work out how you actually talk about it, because that's what that's what we want to actually see.
The next question I got for you, obviously it's been floating around heaps. The Terrell May comments, he was streaming. He goes, "Oh, that Blues jersey I got you, throw it in the bin." How much does it mean to you? How serious do you think it was? I want to know your thoughts around that.
Well, I put a post up today because I saw it pop up on Bloke in the Bar, and I saw Terrell comment in his innocence. I got a loyalty to the family. I'm really good mates with his brother. I played over here with him for a couple of years. I know the family well. I know his mum and dad, so I got a lot of time for the Mays, and I know Terrell well. And he's a real. The thing that I think what probably made me put that post up today, not only because I know the family and I'm friends with them, but also too because if you knew Terrell, he doesn't drink. He's super focused. He's a professional. He definitely probably lives to his own ways, and he's right into his vlogging, and he's quite a unique sort of personality, I suppose, and I think that's great. But I suppose the reason he copped a fair bit of criticism for his comments, and I think it came from a bit of innocence, and it got blown out of proportion. I saw him get attacked from a few people. I think Freddie jumped on and hammered him, and everyone's got their own opinions. I just think, he's getting pizzled from everywhere, and I don't think it was justified. There's obviously a reason he didn't get picked for State of Origin. Like, on form,
Hard to go.
It's undeniable. And then, Max King totally deserves your spot. Anyone who gets picked deserves their spot. You play in State of Origin, and you've inspired and got the attention of enough good people to get picked. So nothing against Max King, but there was obviously a reason they didn't pick Terrell, and I'm not sure what that is. And I know they spoke about him being I spoke the other day about post-contact meters, and I spoke about him playing a lot of minutes. They might want an impact player that just plays a short period of time, but I'm sure Terrell could do that. So I don't know. It just seems a bit odd. It seems a bit odd.
Pretty much kind of used to do that at the Roosters. Like, he was an impact player at one point. He's just kind of filling the role he needs to at the Tigers.
That's my point. So he's obviously not someone's bread and butter. I just found it a bit weird. And I went to defend him because I know him, and I know him nothing but a professional. As I see, he doesn't drink. Yeah, he might do his vlogs and do his own thing, but he's an absolute professional. So I felt for him when everyone's attacking him from every angle because of a harmless comment on gaming. I don't play games. Like, I don't do the PlayStation and all that. I'm 36 and it's not my thing. But I just thought it was a joke.
You think?
I think it was something innocent, and I'm not on that, so I don't understand how all that shit works. But for everyone to come out and say he's fucking disrespectful and all that, it wasn't on a media outlet. It wasn't on a phone call. It was on something he must have perceived to be private. What do you think, Toddy?
Oh, I just think it's been blown out of proportion. At the end of the day, like I said, with everything, there's opinions on everything. Social media is a massive storm. When someone does something, even look at the Reece Walsh thing, he was punching his mate, mucking around. Like, now they're saying they're investigating. Stuff like that is just, it blows my mind that it gets so much coverage. Obviously, Terrell's come out and said he probably shouldn't have said the things he said. He's owned it, move on from it. But what I don't like in the whole Terrell May thing is that because he hasn't been picked, and obviously there's a big circle of people out there that believe he should have been picked, and there's some that don't. But then the ones that don't believe he should be picked come out and say where he's going wrong with his footy. Like, he just didn't get picked. Don't come out and find negative as why he doesn't get picked. Like, he's doing an unbelievable job. If he don't get picked, just leave it at not getting picked. He didn't get picked. But don't come out and try and make up fucking 10 different reasons of why he shouldn't or why he didn't get picked, and then also people in the background saying there's a deeper issue going on. What was the real reason why? Like, you don't have to go find something if something doesn't happen. Don't turn things into negative or try and find a big outlandish story to say why he was left for Roosters and why he's not picked for New South Wales. Just leave it with, okay, Max King's been picked because at the end of the day, Laurie and the selectors went with that. Move on from it there. Don't try and keep trying to fucking poke the bear to find a bigger issue. Because the more you poke someone's bear or poke him, you got that in what Terrell said. Like, just let it go.
I think, like you said, Toddy, people are poking the bear probably because his form's been undeniable as well. Like, they're looking for a reason to
make it about a character thing. Form has just been just as good as Terrell May hasn't been picked for the Queensland team.
Yeah.
But no
It's
one,
New
there's,
South Wales culture.
we're not having any debate about Corey Horsburgh up here in Queensland not getting picked. They've just let it go.
Yeah, no one's questioning his character, are they? No one's
questioning his character, what kind of person he is. They just let it go. Should Corey Horsburgh be picked? In my opinion, yes. In your opinion, maybe not. But that's the thing. Everyone's got an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Horsburgh's been as undeniable as Terrell May?
I believe in some parts, yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because if you look at his form to Mo Fodawaker's form, I believe Corey Horsburgh's been better.
As Toddy was saying, every coach has got certain people that they gravitate, like anyone. You got certain friends that you gravitate towards more than others. Some people like certain types of people more than other people. Some coaches like a certain character, and that sometimes, unfortunately, in these positions, if the coach likes a certain guy's character more than you or sees something different, they go for that person. And then one day you get another person that's more about what you're about. So that's just the way it is, isn't it?
That's totally true.
The next question here, and I know you can rattle off a few in each position, but I want your direct answer. Who do you think is the most dangerous player for New South Wales and the most dangerous player for Queensland?
I've already touched on who my most dangerous player for Queensland is, Harry Grant, closely followed by Cameron Munster. I say Harry Grant because we're going to get a look at him starting the Origin. Up here in Queensland, obviously the fuel and the fire will start. There'll be some tired legs after 10, 15 minutes, and we'll see the impact of what Harry Grant could have in that. So that's where I believe he's the biggest threat. For New South Wales, I'm going to go with Mitchell Moses. I feel we'll see obviously he won't take a back seat to Nathan, but he'll get a better view of the field with Nathan steering the ship. I believe he'll play second fiddle to Nathan. He'll play that sweeping role like a fullback does, and Dylan Edwards will probably poke through the middle. So I feel Mitch's footy you'll see a big running game for Mitch, and that's where it'll open up the field for him. So Mitchell Moses is my threat, and Harry Grant for Queensland.
Yeah, I'm going to go Munster for Queensland, closely in front of KP. I'm talking about over the series here, the series.
Yep.
I just said before, if they win, I think KP will get man of the match this game. But I think over the series, Munster will be the most influential. And for New South Wales, I think Nathan Cleary still. I think it's his time. We spoke a bit about it when we did the interview with him and how he cops, once again, armchair critics, pizzling people for whatever they want just to bring down the tall poppy, or it's still part of sport. But Nathan Cleary hasn't dominated Origin yet. It's all the talk. We always hear he's won 3 series. And I just want, for Nathan's sake, I just want him to just absolutely tear this fucker apart and just hold the trophy up and go, kiss the badge and go, I'm the king. And I can see it happening. So that's why I've got him as the most influential player for New South Wales.
You don't see it happening in game one, but
I don't see it happening. I think he'll play well in game one, but I just said over this course
he won't
of
play
the
well in a
series,
beaten team.
He'll play well in game one, in my opinion.
But he's not. They're not winning.
Yeah, he can still play good.
Yeah, but you know what the people are like. If they don't win game one, they'll be coming for heads.
Well, as I said, I think him and Munster will be the most influential over the series.
Oh.
KP, man. KP
Can't be
man.
too fucking influential.
KP, man. Oh, it's a 3-game series. How many players have won Wally Lewis medal off the back of 2 good games in a series? Heaps. That's my point. So if it's over three games, game one isn't going to determine whether he's the most influential player of the series. There's 2 games to go after it. My man of the match for game one is KP, if Queensland win. And over the series, Nathan Cleary's player of the series, Wally Lewis.
All right, so pinning them head to head then. Get him, Toddy. Pinning them head to head. Toddy, you got Moses versus Harry Grant. Who's the most dangerous? Full stop.
Harry Grant.
Harry Grant. That's scary.
Harry Grant,
You
but
love
I don't
Harry
believe.
Grant.
I don't. Yeah, because it's
He's a
Origin.
grouse.
He's a grouse. he's scary. I'm scared of it. Yeah. But I think New South Wales still win. I'm not going to fucking chuck me maroon shirt on. Oh, what's going on here?
So it's going to be a clean sweep. So it's a clean sweep for you? If you're not going to chuck a Queensland shirt on, you're saying now it's clean sweep.
Yeah.
All right.
3-0 Queensland, New South Wales.
Sweet.
Let's move on to the...
As I said, I got blue balls, blue eyes, and a blue T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm going for New South Wales through and through, but I think we'll lose game 1 and we'll win the series.
Round 12 preview of each game. And our first game on Thursday night is the Bulldogs up against the Finns. Some big outs for both teams, obviously with Origin. But how do you see this one playing out, Mitch?
I'm going to go Bulldogs in this one. I was going to lean towards the Dolphins just purely because it's Origin time. Crichton's out. Max King's out. But the reason I didn't turn on the Dogs purely because they're the best in the comp and they've still got their stable spine there. They've still got the players that have been winning them most of their games. Crichton's obviously a big out. Max King is a decent out, but I think the Dogs will just be too good on the back of what the Dogs do. Dolphins will... It's a chance for them to pounce, but I just don't think they'll have the footy in them to match the all-conquering Bulldogs at the moment, even with their Origin stars out. I just think the players that they got out aren't going to fully affect what they've been trying to do or what they've been doing successfully.
Yeah, I'll go here. I'll save you in the Dogs. I was going to try and come up with an all-master plan to trump you and say the Dolphins will win, but I believe the Dogs, with the form they've been playing. I gave a rap to young Bailey Hayward last week, and I feel he'll come on and change the game again. But I'm with you. I think when the Dolphins lose a player like the Hammer, they lose a lot. He's been outstanding at the back. It's hard to sometimes go against our boy Toia. But I see the Dogs winning because, as you spoke about, they've still got their spine. They've got Matty Burt and Kicker still on the left. And then the right side with Sexton. And whoever comes into that right centre will do a job, I'm sure. So, yeah, we're both sticking with the Dogs there. Our second game of the weekend will be the Eels up against Manly. Both teams losing their number 7s. Manly still with big Tommy Turbo. Obviously, Lomax out for the Eels. How do you see it playing out and who wins?
Yeah, so this was another one. I was going to go, I straight away went to Parramatta, no Mitch Moses. They're no chance, but then obviously on the other side of the field, the great Cherry Evans is out as well for Manly. So but I'm going to go for Manly. The reason I'm going for Manly is because they've still got the great Turbo at the back. I think Turbo at the back, a hungry Turbo, not picked for Origin. His team's desperate for a win. Cherry Evans is out. He'll take ownership of that team. The young kid, Toddy, is coming in at 7 for Manly.
Jake Arthur's playing.
Jake Arthur will link up with Brooksy. Brooksy's a seasoned vet in the halves. He'll know how to lead a team around with Turbo. I think they'll have a little bit too much spark for a Parramatta side that have had nothing really without a Mitch Moses in the team, in all respect. So I think Manly will be too good, and they have to win. Manly. They're one of those sides. Actually, you told me they're in the top 8.
They're in the top 8, and I think this is
they need to hold on through this Origin period. They need a
massive game for them. I'm with you. I think Manly win. I like what Jake Arthur and that done in the pre-season games for Manly. I think they've just got too much strike in their outside backs. I think Parramatta will be in the fight, but without that Mitch Moses kicking game and the control he's had over the last few weeks, I'd like to see, obviously, Dylan Brown's form's been way better over the last few weeks, so hopefully what's been happening in and around there will rub off and he'll continue that form and take some control. Back into the Panthers versus Newcastle. We've spoken about the superstars that will be out for both teams. I'm going to stick with the Panthers. I think the Panthers win. I like Brad Schneider coming into 7. Obviously not the same as Nathan, but he'll control the team really well. But Panthers win for me, and I think Panthers win easy. I would have liked to seen Jackson Hastings back in the Newcastle team. Fletcher Sharp pushes the fullback, Tyson Gamble to 6, and Jake Cogger
Still no.
at 7. So, like
Still
I said
nothing.
the other day, it's workplace harassment. It's bullying.
It's fucking... There's something in it, mate. I'm going my Cheddar, Penrith Panthers.
My cheddar, which I'll jump straight into in case my phone falls into a shit storage. My cheddar of the week is the last game of the round, is the Raiders versus the Warriors over there in New Zealand, and I think the Raiders win. And if I win, I'll get 3 points because they're underdogs. So then they're not the favourites, where you always jump on the favourites. So the Raiders will win it, and they'll be my cheddar of the week. Like I told you last week, shut your mouth. And this time it will be the Raiders, and the Raiders will win over there in New Zealand. It's time for... I've been riding the New Zealand wave, but I think the Raiders will get the job done.
That'll be a good game, that. That's a game of the round, no doubt. I think it's a good choice from you. Can I go on to Penrith just for a little bit over Newcastle, why I believe they'll win?
If you'd like, yeah, it's your cheddar.
Kalen Ponga out at Newcastle. Can't score points with him. Jackson Hastings in his prison cell up there in Newcastle. He's not allowed out. They're not giving him an opportunity. And I just think Penrith, even without Nathan Cleary and their rep players, will be too good. I just can't see any result going but Penrith. So that's why it's my cheddar. How can you... Can you see Newcastle beating them in any way? Be honest.
Well, last time I said that, the Dragons beat the Broncos. So I'm not going to say nothing.
Roosters Sharks for me. I'm going to tip. It's hard to go against the Chooks. I'm going to go the Sharks this week. I just hit the Sharks. The momentum of last week, taking down a top 4 side, they're going to get a boost out off the back of that. They haven't been too harmed through origin selection. Their spine stays intact. Fanua Blake still up front. Their outside backs are pretty solid to the momentum that they've built. I just think they'll be too good for the Chooks, although I think the Chooks will give them one hell of a day. I think they grew in confidence last week, especially that first half period, throwing the ball around, plenty of offloads, nice style of footy. Who created a lot of that? Connor Watson and Rob Toia, and they're not in the side, so I think that's going to hurt them. And also Spencer as well.
I think the Sharkies get the win too. Obviously, as you said, both teams, or Roosters more so affected through Origin. But just as you said, I think Sharks grow in confidence with what they done last weekend against the Storm. Only thing is, complacency might get the Sharks for the Roosters to get a win because they've beat a top 4 team. What are you laughing at?
Just these. I just laugh. I'll tell you what I'm laughing at. How we just tip. If you actually, I want to get Gabe to get a gauge on the consistency of our tips because I'm just sitting there. The shit I'm just tossing up in these predictions. I reckon I'm about 50% record on my tips.
Oh, it's a hard year, man.
I know. I'm just laughing at myself when we're sitting here because you just find yourself dribbling shit on all these predictions because it's so hard to predict.
Let's go to my cheddar of the week, and it's the Raiders over the Warriors. I think the Raiders win, and they're my cheddar, and I'll jump Mitch, and we're 4 all at the moment. I'll get 3, so I'll go to 7. He'll stay because he'll always pick his favourites. He'll get 2 points. It'll be 7-6 by the end of the weekend. I think the Raiders win just on the back of, obviously it's going to be a tight game.
Canberra, for me, I'm going off the back of Todd to close the show off. I think Canberra will be too good up there, but for me, it's the game of the round. Footy nerds, thanks for checking in every week, twice a week. We love your support.